bum, what just happened? Okay, that's weird. Pep Guardiola, the greatest manager in the world. Yeah, I said it. Because his tactics have influenced how the world plays football now. He is the most successful manager of all time, 42 major trophies, managing in 3 of the 5 top leagues in the world. Not only is he successful on the pitch, he's a wonderful human off the pitch, willing to speak out about the injustices in the world. This is a bit long for those who get impatient, but it is worth every second.
But not for that situation of genocide of Palestine, whatever cause I can be in better place in the humanity to. Many years I was up in arms, right? Here, wearing. As the people go to the Mediterranean, run away for their countries, for the wars that the people do it that, they have to run away for their own countries, go in the sea, and go then and go aboard to try to rescue. Don't ask if he's right or wrong. So rescue him. It's about the human being. After we can be agree, we can criticize one thing and one position, another thing, but everyone is right, when everything is have an idea, you have to express it. But when a people is dying, you have to help him. The human being or the human being be alive or protect the life is the only thing that we have. And now it's not happening, but not just in this part of the world, in every part of the world. And what's happened right now, still right now, with all technologies, all the advances that we have, the humanity is better than ever in terms of possibilities. We can reach the moon, we can do everything. But still right now, we kill each other for what? For what?
For what?
So, when I see the images, I'm sorry, it hurts. It hurts to me. That's why in every position I can help, speaking up to be a better society. No, I want to change anything, but I try, I will be there all the time. It's for my kids, for my families, for you, for all of you, for your families as well, for the kids, for the family of my players, for all the staff. And everyone do whatever he can, in his job, in his life, the best. And the injustice, from my point of view, the justice, you have to talk. You have to talk. Otherwise, the justice move on. Look what happened in the United States of America with Rene Good and Alex Pretty. So had been killed. One in an infirmary, a nurse, NHS. Imagine NHS, 5, 6 people around him, go on the grass, 10 shots. Tell me how you can defend that. Make something wrong, okay, go to the tribunal, go to sue, go to the jail if something wrong. That is what happened, in the modern. There is not a perfect society. I know when everybody's perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Societies are not perfect. I have to work to be a better place. A person who go there, go defend a woman there, surrounded is being killed for that. Who can defend that? I don't know. I will be always in front of that.
And truly, thank you, Pep, for being brave enough to speak on these things, because, easiest example, Jelly Roll with that word salad about how he hasn't had a phone for a year and just got it back and he's not caught up. But when he talks, it's going to be the loudest he ever talks. And it's just like, bro, just say no comment. And for someone in his position to talk, even when the media were like, hey, why are you willing to talk about this? And he, even to the journalists, was just like, I'm honestly shocked that you're asking me about this. Why would you even this is the first time anyone has ever asked me about this. This isn't the first time I've mentioned Palestine. I did it recently, a week ago at a charity event, but I've done this before, and this isn't the first time anyone has asked me about it, or this is the first time someone has asked me about it. So either you're about to get in trouble by your bosses or you're being brave or something. But either way, I appreciate it. And I'm going to take this moment to chat. And what was funny is, so he ends this conversation and his side media guy is like, okay, this is over now. The meeting's over. And Pep was just like, no, there are people who want to ask me more questions. They were normal questions about football. But I definitely know that even their media team was like, because unfortunately, speaking out against atrocities is a no-go. And it is incredibly unfortunate. It is a bummer. It's disappointing. It's Black History Month. Like, we have experienced, not maybe, well, us to certain levels, but our people throughout history have experienced atrocities of their own, and being able to find joy, connection, and all of that stuff through all of it is a superpower of our people. And it's very nice when someone of privilege, someone who doesn't need to talk about these things, brings attention. So truly, like, thank you, Pep Guardiola, for being the man that you are.
I think that it's amazing to hear, your manager speak out against so many of the injustices happening in the world. And I think he, like, in the like larger clip, I think he named like several different places
Mm-hmm.
across the globe that are just really having a difficult time like recognizing the humanity of others. Um, Also, like in sports, this is obviously something that does not happen a lot amongst any sort of coaches. And the coaches that do it usually have a certain level of cachet. Like you think of the recently retired Greg Popovich in the
Mm-hmm.
United States, Steve Kerr
Steve Kerr, yeah.
has also been very outspoken against gun violence. And like those are coaches that have like multiple championships. So like and it's unfortunate that a it's not going to hit as hard if a manager like, and then this is not to just shit on Eddie Howe, like, but a manager like Eddie Howe or a manager like Sean Dyche, if those are the things that they believe, like that they wouldn't, they're not going to be able to speak up on that, or they would be able to speak up on it, but like the pushback would be so hard
Mm-hmm.
because there's an expectation of like, oh, well, you just need to shut up and do your job and win a championship, win a trophy for the club versus like, no, I'm a participant of this society. And because I like, it is Black History Month. One of my favorite, James Baldwin quotes is like, something to the effect of like, I love America so much that like, critique her relentlessly or something to that effect. And like, it is to critique something is not necessarily to put it down, but it's just like to point out like, hey, we could be doing better. And unfortunately, like all the people that I mentioned that are doing this are all coaches that have achieved the highest level of their profession, and there's a certain expectation that in order to be able to speak on things like that, you have to achieve that. And that's not necessarily the case.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm reminded of Michael Jordan in the early part of his career, 1990, made the statement, Republicans buy sneakers too. And basically what that said was, I don't want to put myself in a position where something that I say impacts my bottom line, impacts my income, turns off people who might be potential, buyers or what have you. So I can understand why the club would be trying to shut it down because they're like Michael Jordan. People all around the country, all around the world, of all persuasions, of all whatever, are City fans. So I don't want him to say something that will turn off one group of fans against the other or whatever. But I appreciate Pep. I appreciate Pep for just saying right is right, wrong is wrong. I'm going to call it out. If I believe it, I'm going to call it out You guys deal with the impact of it. I don't care. And I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah, truly. And I guess I probably should have said this before I played the clip. You could have just skipped past this part because I shared his little speech on social media, and I got most, obviously, support because it's kind of wild being against, something like this, or at least vocally being against something like this. But naturally, I got one person in the Instagram comments, and their retort, because all I said was, this ain't it, for them basically telling them to like shut up and focus on managing. And then they were like, have you even been to a game? Like, bro, like that's your next statement, is trying to then minimize my support as a City fan. Like, are you serious?
They're trying to gatekeep you. That's exactly what they're trying to do.
Exactly. And I was like, haha, joke's on you, asshole. I've been to City men and women, and chances are you don't give a fuck about City women. So, like, who's a real fan? I love the club as a whole. But, it's people who are like that. They live their lives, and it's unfortunate. You could have just kept scrolling. But it is what it is. Let's just play this, and we'll get into the chats. Hey, welcome to season 5, episode 168 of Shades of Blue.
This is culturally inappropriate.
We are the most comprehensive show about Manchester City, covering both the men's and women's games, spanning both sides of the Mason-Dixon line. We making art over here. Capitalize the A. I am Crunk Chocolate. I'm here with the show bros, Thom Bomb, Tarik. How's it going? How you doing? How you feeling?
You know what? I am so grateful that City played today and City won, because it was a rough hump day.
Bring a little bit of joy.
And that was the joy that I needed.
Halfway through the week, you're almost there.
Yeah. Definitely feeling better emotionally after the City win. I'm still struggling with my health, but yesterday, you saw me. I was crashing out a bit on Talkback Tuesdays. So today's win did a good job of calming me down. So now we just got to keep going in this path. So we'll see.
Fingers crossed. Oh my gosh. Shout out to the third child for our intro. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe if this is your first time here. Like the video. Hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment on what you thought on this episode. Let's say you're enjoying the audio only experience. Spotify, Good Pods, Apple Podcasts. Rate this episode 5 stars. Give that 5 stars. Leave a review. Say something nice. It all helps the podcast grow and be pushed in front of more fantastic football fans like yourself who are watching or listening right now. And let's say you go, self, I really want to help out Shades of Blue podcast, but I'm not quite sure how. We have a Patreon. If you subscribe to our 2 tiers, $3 a month or $6 a month, light work for you, right? Ballers. You can get amazing extra content. We have ad-free episodes. So if you're listening to this on YouTube, watching on or listening on Spotify, Good Pods, Apple Podcasts, there's ads. Subscribe to our Patreon. You can get these episodes ad-free. You can even put a specific RSS feed to your podcast listening device so you can get the Patreon episodes there. So then you don't have to, you get those pesky ads out of the way. You can get fantastic episodes or match previews. We have a lot of interviews coming up. The homie Michael Reed. We got Theo Lloyd Hughes. We got Shireen Ahmed. We got Bailey Wynn. We got Jack Gaughan. So it's New Year. We're about to start cooking. So subscribe to our $3 tier, $6 tier. That's how you're going to enjoy all of those interviews. With the $3 tier, you get the ad-free still. You get the match previews. $6 tiers, you get those amazing interviews of those people that I just talked about. And it just helps our pod grow and bloom because we're going on year 4. We would like to just keep building and growing our community of Shady Gang. We appreciate you. In today's episode, we're going to start with our men who disappointed us against Tottenham, but they figured it out against Newcastle. We're going to talk about it. And then we got our baby, blue baddies who handle business against Chelsea. Oh my God, I cannot wait to talk about that.
Woo-wee.
Woo-wee. And then we will naturally look ahead to the matches this coming week and go from there. So let's get into it, shall we? Let's start off with our so the transfer window has ended. Man City were able to bring in some players, send some players away. Pep was basically asked, hey, so this, we say that you, Man City, won the transfer window. Would you be positive or are you excited about what Hugo was able to do?
Yeah, really good. Really good. Hugo cheeky before, Hugo now. I'm a little bit sad and upset because in net spend the last 5 years, we are the 7 in the Premier League. So I want to be the first. I don't understand how the club don't spend more money. So I'm a little bit grumpy with them. But with that position like we won in the past, because we spend a lot, with now 6 teams have to win the Premier League. And the Champions League is the FA Cup, so because they spend more in the last 5 years. This is a fact, you know. It's not, I would say, an opinion, you know. You can say an opinion, for example, like you say, you play good or play bad against the Spurs. So we can be agree or disagree. And but that is facts. So good luck for the 6 teams who were in front of us to spend net in the last 5 years. Let's go. I'm waiting.
That Spaniard is so funny. Just because I think everybody knows that the narrative around City is that, like, oh, well, you spent your way to the top, and you know you're destroying the way that that football is being played, and you're just buying all the best players, and you're not developing players, and so for him to just come back and say like, oh yeah, since these, like we're number 6 or 7, excuse me. So like the
There's
other
16
teams
spending more than us.
more than us, yeah, over the last 5 years. So like, yeah, like,
And I
they
hate
need to,
it.
and they need to achieve. They need to achieve what I have achieved, while not spending that amount of money.
And hey, and if you're gonna spend all this money, you might as well win. So you got to catch up. You got to do something eventually, right? Like if it is about the money, I expect to see something from you. So I very much love, like, Pep, obviously tongue in cheek. And I know we're in the rage bait world, but it was very annoying seeing so many accounts being like, look at what Pep said, and they're like taking it as honest. I mean, I guess maybe if you haven't heard Pep speak, you might think that he's being serious, but it's like, bro, like that. He's a Spaniard speaking English. Like that's the most sarcasm that he's trying his hardest to sound sarcastic. So I very much enjoyed that out of him. So some transfers. Obviously, we brought in Mark Gahey, Crystal Palace. We brought in Antoine Semenyo from Bournemouth and made some loans. Calvin Phillips, He agreed to go on loan to Sheffield United. They are actually in a real dark spot. Sheffield United, they were battling relegation for the longest. And so he's going to hopefully help take them to out of the situation where they are and maybe get them a little bit further up. I'm trying to see where they sit now. They technically sit in 15th, but at moment for a very long time they were in relegation situation. There's plenty of season left. I don't think they're really going to be able to get into like a promotion situation because they sit with 39 points and what is it? The top 3 get through and then the bottom 8, so 44. That's 6 points. Actually, they might be able to get into the playoffs if he can do well enough. When Pep was asked about Calvin Phillips, he basically was just like, honestly, what has really hurt him the most is he's just always been injured. If it's not his shoulder, then it was his knee, then it was his calves. So hopefully he can get to Sheffield and get some consistent play. Then we have Stephen Mufuni. He is a center back. He went on loan to Watford. He made his debut. Everyone has been very impressed with what he did. Center back, left back. He can play both. He did fantastic. We have David Mukasa. He went on loan to Leicester City. I am hopeful. Like Leicester City need all the help and all the players they can get. They've played a lot of matches. They don't necessarily have the squad for it. I think he'll be a good person on that team. And then lastly, the saddest, Oscar Bob. He left us. He went to Fulham. Good money. 20% sell-on clause added onto it. Also, matching rights were added to the transfer. So in theory, if he leaves Fulham, City have a chance to bring him back. Can just spend whatever the money, whoever is interested in him. I waver, but I'm pretty strongly in this mind of thought where I don't want to say necessarily good riddance, but because it was super unfortunate. Like last year, he was going to start the season as our main guy on the right. That broken ankle completely upended everything. It is our latest, biggest what if. Like the previous one was what if Sane would have stayed. I felt like that was the one that like still haunts us this day. I think if Oscar Bob doesn't get injured, that is our newest, biggest what if. But
what about Cole Palmer?
Honestly, he's
because everybody wants him back,
and also I guess those are along the similar lines.
Who are these everybody's? Because I mean that's cool.
Fair.
I mean, like I guess like
yeah, and I'm along the same lines. So and those are similar because both players wanted to leave. I think Oscar Bob wanted to stay, but he could definitely tell between the players who were coming in, they were getting playing time. I don't think Pep was giving him, because you could see that in his brain, he wasn't making the moves. He wasn't playing the way that we know he can play. His game is a lot of predecessed on like feints and dummies and very good timed dribbles. Like he plays off of what the defender does and he reacts to it, and that's how he finds his space. But he wasn't entirely like trusting his body. He wasn't making the cuts as hard as he can. Pep wasn't playing him, like, because honestly, if you can't trust yourself, I can't trust you on the pitch. And I understood why he wasn't getting the playing time. And then a few weeks ago, Pep was like, hey, he's healthy, but he's not healthy mentally. And then a week later, he was like, honestly, I think he's gone. And then a week later, he was at Fulham. So I am in the mind similar with the Cole Palmer. If you want to leave, bye, boy. Like, good riddance, goodbye. Like, would I love to have you on the squad? Yes, because I believe you have the talent. But like every player, if you want to leave, go. Leave. Bye. Get out of here.
So to your what if point, like I wonder, and Tarik, you might have a better beat on this, like just because you have a stronger connection to a lot more of the UK fans. I wonder how many like because in the United States we saw him like ball out in those preseason matches here in the United States, like how many US based City fans are a little bit more pressed about him leaving versus like UK based fans who like only basically saw like the 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 things that he was able to do like when he did get minutes within the season when he was healthy. So I do wonder like if there's like sort of like a disconnect within the fan base on that. And also like I don't begrudge him because I know that like it's probably difficult seeing like people who like the squad's bringing in people for basically your position, and you know that you want to play in the World Cup for your country, and you're not going to get those World Cup minutes unless you get those club minutes. So I don't fault him for wanting to leave. I get all of the reasons why he did want to leave. I don't love it, but at the same time, like as long as we did the business to put the club in a position for success, and that the player is in a position that he feels that he can be successful, then like I feel like everyone wins in that situation.
Yeah, I think that you're probably right. It's, I think most people feel like it's a win-win because no one will begrudge the kid. He's an academy kid, been here forever, played his way through the academy, made it to the first team. That's a difficult proposition, and he did it. So I think there's a lot of people who have, feel really strongly about him. The fact of the matter is, with the exception of maybe like the Newcastle moment, a lot of what he did was in that tour. And so people, both here in the States and in the UK, were banking his future on what we saw. And then we never saw it once he got hurt and came back. We never saw it again. Mm-hmm. So I think at this point, they understand he had to go. We appreciate the fact that we got what we got for him. And then you wish him the best as he goes and does his thing. I will tell you, I was surprised that he wasn't in the squad for the Fulham match.
It's because he's still injured.
He didn't. Not just that he didn't play. He wasn't even in the squad. Now, if you tell me he's injured, then that's something different. But if he's that injured, why are you even trading for him, or buying him, whatever? So, how injured is he? I don't know. When will he be back? I don't know. But and maybe that's why maybe we didn't get as much as we would have liked because he is still technically injured. I don't know. Maybe we could have got a little bit more. I don't know. But I was surprised. I went to the Fulham match to try to see, is he playing? Wait, he's not on the pitch. Is he in the squad? He's not in the squad. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we'll see, how long it takes for him to become a member of the squad and then a member of the first team. Yeah. If that actually happens for him.
And even like the talks, because a lot of people, like you said, Tom, you assume he's going there to get some playing time so he can play in the World Cup. He still has to get ahead of Harry Wilson, Alex Iwobi, Samuel Chukwueze. Like, he has players that he still has to get in front of. He has to play ahead of who are familiar with the club, who've been at the club, and have had minutes. And that is, I guess, kind of the confusing thing, where it's just like, Fulham? Like, if you really wanted playing time, I feel like there were other clubs you could have went to, but maybe Mans just wanted to be in London. I don't know.
I mean, I think that's also a very high possibility. Like, he's a professional athlete and under the age of 23. Like, maybe he just wants to be outside in a metropolitan area.
Which is real. But also, I'm not sure how much motivation that is to become the best footballer you can be. So maybe, again, City avoided something possibly, again, with, like Tarik said, he didn't play in this game against Fulham. He is injured. How much of this is in his head? Because I remember it. The last match he played for City, because he got subbed off due to an injury, he made like the first real cut that I saw that made him like stick out. Is his just like his shift? It almost is like the Barry Sanders like movement, like how he can just move so quickly with the ball to one side. It's jarring. And he made that move, and then he took the shot, and after that he was like, I gotta go off. And it's even similar to Ake. Ake has those moments where he gets injured, and in his head he's like, can I power through? Is this a mental thing, or am I actually hurt? And we're seeing it with him lately. He's been able to play. I mean, we'll talk about it, but he was subbed off at half. And was that an actual injury? Is he an actual injury? Maybe Pep is just protecting him. Who knows? But anyway, we'll talk about Tottenham, the draw against Tottenham. Pep Lenders. He handled the press conference because Pep Guardiola was handling a personal matter. I love Lenders doing these interviews because he just like gives it up. He gives his complete thoughts, emotions, feelings, because this is all new to him. He's still so excited, where Pep is like sometimes jaded and he's like condescending and joking and stuff like that because these media people don't love you. Can't save them. They don't want to be saved. Don't save them. That is the media, and Lenders is going to have to learn that. But first question to Lenders was if he knows what to expect from Tottenham. Sure, what he says about Tottenham is accurate, but I'm very interested, and I want you to listen to what he says about City at the end.
No, they are quite clear in their plan. Thomas is he sets them up in a really clear way so they can link inside to attack through the inside. They can play the balls in behind as well, so they are quite fluid on the outsides how they want to play. High pressing team, man marking team, above everything, a good set piece team. So we are really looking forward to this game. We have to be for 95 minutes really concentrated and think how we want to play, how we want to do it, to show our mentality, to show our way, but we look forward to go there.
To play 90 minutes and show our mentality. The whole conversation, which is about how in 2026 we have yet to score a goal in the second half. And months ago, I have dubbed this team the Mentality Muppets, and time again, they have proven me right. And I want you to prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong. But you haven't, and you won't. Y'all are weak-minded goofs. And we'll talk about it later in this match. Probably actually sooner than later. Rodri, you're a Ballon d'Or winner. You have fallen victim to being a mentality muppet. It bums me out. So next up is Pep said he was talking about how excited he is about City making the top 8 in the Champions League because not having to participate in the play-in ties means he can spend time with his family. And the squad is to get proper rest. And then speaking of proper rest, Holland mentioned how he's so tired having to play all these games back to back to back. Lenders was asked, hey, what have you seen from Holland?
No, the first months, it was only, we spoke all the time about Erling, how decisive he was, but the mentality sets him apart, in my opinion, because for a striker, the most important thing is always the next ball, the next moment, the next situation. It's about having this confidence that it will come, and we know all his quality, how he can be in the box, how he can, with his head, with his feet, with his left, with his right, in the scruffy goals as well, like be there for the. It's for him to keep believing that it comes, and it's so important that he finish off. It shows quality, no? If in that situation, the moment where we're in, to put that ball over the goalkeeper, pure quality, I would say. But we need them in good spirits. In good spirits, as all our front players, because only when you smile, only when you laugh, you can score these goals.
And lastly, Lenders was asked how City played differently from last season to this season. His answer, it's class, but he focused more on what the opponents are doing differently. And again, this is another longer one, but he's just giving it up. He's talking about the game.
The game. It's the game. It's the way football is developing. You have two games at the moment at football. One is played on the opposition half, where teams are really deep, compact, and that didn't change a lot from the last years. And then you have a game where all the teams play man-to-man, high press. Not all, but 90% in a lot of leagues. So that game where they come man-to-man, there are no lines. There are no pockets. There are no free space. It's all about how to outplay that moment of high pressure. And that changed a lot. So with this comes that you see us attack more quick at moments, because when you outplay that press, the pitch is completely open. The quality is always like how you make the process to outplay that kind of pressure. And before, I felt a lot of teams went immediate deep. And now it is much more a combination of what I say, one game on one side of the pitch and a completely different game on the other side of the pitch. And teams combining that well. So that's why they make it much harder for the top teams, in my opinion.
That's such an interesting comment, because, like, if you think about it, like, if you think about modern sport as a whole, it's not just world football. It's football, it's basketball. It's so much like, okay, we're going to do everything that we can to condense the space. So there's not those pockets, that there's not that space. And so in order to counter that, like, movement of the player, movement of the ball, that has to be quicker, so that, like, you are able to capitalize on those spaces. So, like, you can get that open corner three, so that you can get that receiver running across the middle into flooding the zone, so you're able to, like, get that. So you can get that run into the channel, like splitting the center back. So, like, it's a very incisive comment, like, as far as when you think about all, like, global sports. And I'm sure that it could probably be applied to hockey as well. And I just don't know enough about hockey to, like, say that. But, like, I think that that's probably also true in that sport too.
Yeah. So starting 11 was Donnarumma, Nunes, Huzanov, Gahey, Ait-Nouri, Rodri, Silva, O'Reilly, Semenyo, Cherki, and Holland. So again, we get to see O'Reilly in the midfield. Ait-Nouri has obviously earned his spot as left back. We're getting to see O'Reilly in the midfield. Another match where Foden is on the bench. I know we have definitely talked about it, where we acknowledge Cherki is better in the 10 position than Foden this season. Kind of pointed out that from the way that this team is set up right now, it really does feel like Foden at best can be a new version of Bernardo Silva. I know to some that might feel blasphemous, but even when we moved to the match today against Newcastle, that's exactly what he was doing. It was a lot of Bernardo action, a lot of hustle, a lot of energy, a lot of being the pass that could break lines and finding space to help the press out, and not necessarily contributing to the attack very much. I mean, he lost the ball a lot more than Bernardo Silva does, but that's kind of what you see from him. I guess from the lineup, was the Foden missing? or at least on the bench, was that surprising? Was there anything else in the lineup that you were like, oh, okay? Because like even Marmouche, he was playing pretty well over the last couple of games, and now he found himself on the bench against Tottenham. Tarik, we'll start
I
with
think
you.
we.
What? Oh,
Oh,
sorry, no, Tom, you can go.
I think we talked about this like earlier in the season about how Ayat Nori was not getting a whole lot of minutes, and that was maybe more of a function of like Pep knows that you are going to be gone for a good chunk of the season. So like we're going to make sure that you're healthy for AFCON, and whenever Algeria is back, we're going to make sure we're going to take care of you, and we're going to make sure that you play a good majority of minutes. Well, Algeria got bounced by Nigeria, and they came back, and AFCON like from AFCON. And it seems like he's played in every match since then, like
Mm-hmm.
and significant minutes. And I think that it's almost like it was like all part of Pep's plan. It was like, okay, Nico, young Auto Parts, you hold down this left back spot for right now. And when Nori comes back, we're gonna see ways that we're gonna put you in the midfield because we see what you bring to that position and what we are lacking in that position currently. I mean, just speaking of Rodri's not great run of form.
Yeah, not having Phil was surprising, but I don't think it was undeserved. So I'm fine with it. Seeing Nico O'Reilly in midfield again is, I mean, at this point, it's not surprising. I mean, it feels like that's where he's going to be playing going forward. And Ait Nori's done really well, so you can't argue it. If Ait Nori hits a bad run of form, then we'll probably put Nico back over there, O'Reilly back over there. But for now, I can't argue it. I think the biggest miss out of all this is Doku, and there is no one in our team, in our squad, that does what he does. Semenyo is good. I don't have any issue with Semenyo, but he's not Doku. He doesn't do what Doku does. And so if you ask me what's the biggest miss, that's what I would say. But, we've got to play with what we have. Hopefully we get him back soon. But, all the rest of it is what it is. Rodri has not been great since he's been back. I want to see him partner with Nico G on a more consistent basis, but they're playing Nico O'Reilly in that 8 spot. So, we'll see.
Yeah, I love
Maybe
it.
it ends up, and we saw something today, but yeah. So that's that.
And the reason why Nico O'Reilly is being played in the midfield, naturally his size, athleticism, all that stuff helps. But he is just, because he's grown up playing in the Pep style through the academy, he's just very calm on the ball. He makes very good decisions. He also, because he's young and he's brave, he's willing to take those steps. He's willing to dribble forward with the ball, progress the ball, but he's also very tidy with the ball. In this match, he lost possession 9 times, which sounds like a lot. Bernardo lost possession 12 times. Rodri lost possession 15 times. So like of the midfield, he was the tidiest on the ball. He progressed the ball 110 total carrying distance, 110 meters. Like that's just kind of what he would do, is just, if nobody else can find him, he finds that pocket of space that he's familiar with, and he just kind of turns and runs forward. It's nothing crazy. And everything else a part of the game, like the duels and
He
everything,
also
he'll get
he
better
also
at.
he gives such a great outlet for like specifically for the fullbacks, like the way that he is like when the ball like, and it doesn't matter whether it's on like if it's Ayat Nori or if it's Nunez, he just has a good sense of like where the ball is and like, okay, I need to be here so that I can make sure that this fullback like has a place to play that's not like back to the goalkeeper, that's not back to the center back that's getting pressed by this winger. He just has a very good sense of that, and I'm not sure that either. Like it's almost like watching, like because Bernardo Silva does a lot of that too, but it's almost like watching a supersized version of Bernardo Silva in that way, like because Bernardo does a lot of that, like carrying of the ball, like turning, making himself available for the back line to relieve pressure, and I think that he does that so well, and just him being a much bigger body than Bernardo Silva, like gives the team so many more options.
Great. So I guess let's get to it. These bad calls in the match. There was a harsh foul on Rodri that was ignored. I ignore it was smashed into, which forced him to get subbed off. Solanke's goal that was technically a Guehi own goal, but also was a foul. Before we get into this conversation, Rodri had a quote that had people in a tizzy. I have it right here. Yeah, let's get to it.
I don't know how to feel, honestly. Now I see the images in the pitch, of course, you cannot see. There's a clear foul in the first action of the goal. It's a clear foul, and VAR is for a reason. And these small details make the difference. We're trying to do our best. It's the first goal they score. Maybe they don't score a goal. We win the game. It's one game and another game and another game. And it's not possible. And honestly, I never speak about referees. I respect their job massively, but they have to pay attention to these things. He kicked the leg. It's so clear. It's so clear. He anticipated the leg of Mark, and it's a clear foul. But it's not today. It's just 2-3 games in a row, and I don't know why, honestly. I know we won too much and the people they don't want us to win, but the referee has to be neutral. And for me, honestly, it's not fair. It's not fair because we work so hard in these situations now to make these decisions that you have to move on, of course, but you need to come back. But at the end, when everything is finished, you are frustrated.
So that was I didn't speed that up at all. You could tell that he was frustrated by the way that how fast he was talking. I'm not going to lie, though. This is not what I want to hear from a leader in the squad, is him complaining about the refs, complaining about the bad calls. I'm not saying he's not right or any of that stuff, but also Haaland complaining about the fouls. Like Diaz was complaining about the fouls before he got injured. We need to be in the situation where you go, okay, that's a bad call. Bet. I'm now going to make it so you can't deny us. And instead of doing that, you're complaining, which if we know anything about the English and the refereeing, you call them out on their stuff, they're only going to make worse calls because they're going to be petty. And also as a leader, it just gives other players an opportunity to kind of like pout and slump and be like, oh, what was me? Be big Eeyore vibes. Because everybody's against us. Our best teams are treble winners. The 4 in the row, they were winning in spite of everybody hating them, in spite of everybody not wanting them to succeed, to win another trophy. How have we fallen so far? It's just disappointing. It's upsetting. it's just I'll let you go.
I'm going to disagree. And I feel like we started the beginning of the show, like you saying, like you have to have a certain level of cachet to talk about stuff like that, or talk about stuff that like to make your voice heard. When the Ballon d'Or winner is saying a Ballon d'Or winner is saying like the calls that we've gotten recently have sucked, like he's not wrong. Like
No.
and like and even if that draws the attention of PGMOL, which like Charlie has pointed out several times, is the worst refereeing organization in UEFA. I think that like it might like call attention because it's not like it's not just City impacted by these bad calls. Like other teams are also impacted by these bad calls. And I think that maybe that this is like this should be the message that like more teams should go out like, hey, like a groundswell, like this is not this level of enforcing the rules of the game by this organization is not up to par with our other peers within UEFA, and they need to be held to the same standard, and clearly they are not.
Fair.
I'm mixed. I agree that he's right in everything that he said.
Yes.
If we win and he says that, nobody cares. But because it comes on the back of it wasn't a loss, but it was dropped points, it looks like you're a sore loser or a crybaby or whatever. If other clubs had done this, we would talk about their mentality and how weak they are and yada, yada. But again, his point is this isn't a one-time thing. If it was a one-time thing, you just move on. They always tell you, oh, it's okay. It's going to balance itself out over the course of the season. And I can't argue that point. But what I can say is, and I'd have to go back and count exactly, but it feels like there's been 4 games almost in a row that have been negatively impacted by calls, by VAR or the lack of VAR or whatever, and they have consistently gone against us. As a fan, it's easy for me to get into conspiracy theory realm and say, oh, they're against us, yada, yada, boom. As a player, you just can't do it. Again, I probably agree with the sentiment, but you can't come out as a player and say they're, whatever. And so I'm kind of torn. Like I said, I think he's right. I think it's shameful that so many perceived mistakes, but even more than the mistakes is the rationalization of, well, no, we think it was right because this. Well, it was a glancing hit on Doku. It wasn't full on, but yet that man's been out for like 3 matches at this point from a glancing attack that doesn't deserve a red card. Come on, man. What are we doing? So, yeah, I think PGMOL definitely has to be better. I think VAR has to be better. And even when VAR says, no, that you got it wrong, go ahead and fix that. The ref can just say, nope, not going to. I'm going to leave it like it is. I believe it to be right, so I'm just going to leave it. And again, we get on the short end of that stick. Yeah, it sucks. But as a player, my issue, so this is my issue, right? I think in the game, when it happens, in the moment, when the bad call happens, when we don't get the call that we're supposed to get, when we don't get the red card, the penalty, whatever, right? I don't know if we get too emotional, but we kind of buckle. Mm-hmm. We put our heads down, kind of pout a little bit, and then they capitalize on that. We have to be able to play through that. And that sucks because it's happened so many times in a row. But you just have to expect it and play through it because you can't continue to just drop your head and give up games. Can't. I don't know.
No, I'm with you. Because I also have Rodri. He did like a interview with Man City and it was after this first one. And you can hear he's calm, but he still mentions the refs, but he then also holds himself and his team a little more accountable.
And this is what happened when you don't control well. You can end drawing, but yeah, unfortunately, There was a big mistake of the referees in the first goal. I shouldn't count it, and I think this affects us too much. I think we have to learn from these things. I think we can, if we're gonna analyze, but at the end they have nothing to lose. They always put they jump. They try to go 1-against-1. At the end, you have ending playing long balls. You have to win these balls, tries to keep it. If you lose it at the end, you're gonna suffer a little bit more. This is what happened. I think we concede easily, even though the first action shouldn't count.
So again, he acknowledges that City didn't play well, but twice brings up the fact of that first goal shouldn't count. I acknowledge and admit the goal shouldn't count, but it is one of those things, like, you can't be like, we let it affect us, but now I'm going to complain about it twice. So, like, you are the we who let it affect you. And I don't know, like, you can go back in time from, like, VAR, like, screwing us over, like the Raheem Sterling goal against Tottenham, like, again, Tottenham, like, we are cursed against this team, and a lot of it is, yes, the refs, but some of it also is the players. When they stop getting calls, they just don't play with this, like, energy and gumption. And sure, I can expect that out of, like, a Shirky, a Semenyo, maybe even O'Reilly, because he's just really getting his time in the first. But, like, from Bernardo Silva, from Rodri, no. From Holland, no. I want to see this effort from him. And I love that from the first half. We brought it on to him. But that is, like, that's the conversation, is the first half. If we just end games at the first half, City would be ahead in the league. It'd be a runaway right now. But because there's two halves in football, we have yet to score in the second half in all of 2026. That's not a great stat. And still to this day, when we moved to Newcastle, again, scored 3 goals, nothing in the second half. Thankfully, there is a mad aggregate lead, 5-1, so that didn't affect anything. But it still is just frustrating that the team can get ahead, but then just consistently capitulating. And at least last season, it made sense because we had a bunch of old boys. They can't be running up and down like this. Now we have a bunch of kids. So now it's like a mentality thing. Like, it's similar symptoms, but it is like a different diagnosis that can fix it. I don't know. I believe in Pep. He'll be able to figure it out, but it is a situation that I think it's more on the players than it is on Pep. But I hope we'll get there. Last thing, I guess, about this Tottenham match before we move on to Newcastle, because I was talking about it, is more on the players. I don't like that Pep brought Phil Foden on in the 88th minute. They run on Omar Marmoush in extra time. Like, if you're trying to win a match, giving players 6-8 minutes to win that match, it's not the most leeway. I mean, it adds the pressure. It tells them that I need to make something happen now, which I guess maybe he felt he needed to give those players a sense of urgency to maybe create something. We'll see.
I am going to take a different interpretation of that, because
it.
I think that like, him giving them those little minutes was him prioritizing this particular match, and like that today's match against Newcastle, and saying, like, I know who my starting 11 is going to be, and I know that those are 2 players that I need to make sure that they are going to play at least 60 minutes in this match. And I believe that the 11 that I have out on the pitch is probably my best lineup right now with who I have available. So I'm going to let them cook, and I'm going to let them figure it out. Like, similar to, like, a basketball coach whose team is, like, on the business end of a, like, 12-0 run. Like, it's that coach that doesn't call a timeout. It's like, y'all figure it out. Like, I'm not going to come here and save you.
I'm here for it. No, that makes sense. Very good perspective. Okay, let's move on to the match against Newcastle. So Pep in the pre-match interview, there really wasn't much to it. But Pep did say he doesn't think that getting to the Carabao Cup final can bring momentum to the rest of the season, which, I mean, I feel like we see that teams will, City will kill it in the cup games, but then we'll go back to the Premier League and crumble. So he's right. He said each competition is its own, but the confidence can grow and every action and then trying to focus with their mentality 5 minutes at a time. If there are bad actions, being able to forget about them. So again, it's very similar to what Lenders said, where it's just like, bro, we need to focus on being able to play a full 90 minutes, mentality, being locked in for the entire time. And he was also asked, hey, what is going on in the second half? And it's pretty
So reality in
obvious.
second half we dropped what we got in the first, and maybe as a young team, the youngest side we had in 10 years, and maybe we need to leave it, and maybe we stop trying to do what they have done in the first half, and yeah, we have to grow with that, definitely.
Starting 11. Trafford, Nunes, Huzanoff, Ake, Nori, Gonzalez, O'Reilly, Reinders, Foden, Semenyo, and Marmouche. I love this. Again, this is a game that Talon doesn't need to start. He mentioned how he's playing a lot of games. Give him that rest. Getting Foden, not getting a start. He is who he is. Pep is going to play him, but he just isn't full on reliable. Another transfer for O'Reilly to do his thing in the midfield. Nico Gonzalez getting the start. Pep mentioned how Ryan Nori is still kind of fighting nickel. Bernardo Silva got injured enough where he was pulled before this match. So that's why he wasn't even on the bench, which isn't surprising. He's been playing so much and he's so old. And so, like, the fact that this is the first time that it's really hitting him this season, good on him. And Nico Gonzalez getting a chance to get back into his groove. He's getting the start. He played 83 minutes. Foden played 72 minutes. Semenyo doing his thing, 71 minutes. O'Reilly, I think O'Reilly getting subbed off was the most important thing because he's played so many minutes. And he, like Nunes, is massive to the squad because if he doesn't play, the person who can replace him can't do what he does, and then so there's a massive drop off. So for him to get a little bit of rest, that will be significant. Ake got subbed off at the half. I hope that it was just a precautionary measure, but chances are he's injured. We won't see him for a couple of weeks. But Alien came on. He did not look calm on the ball. He had a sketchy moment with Wisa where I don't think it was a penalty, but if it would have been called a penalty, just because of the crazy calls that have been on City lately, I would have been okay with it.
He grabbed that man in his junk, and it was almost a call. I thought they were going to give it to him. You know,
It was so City handle things. Marmouche with the brace. Reinders hopped in. He got himself a goal. Holland was able to come on. He got a couple of really good chances. He got some shots on goal. Like, we weren't able to score in the second half, but we put pressure. We got a couple shots on goal because of Holland. We obviously are going to move on and play Arsenal in the final of the Carabao Cup. What is there anything to take from this match? Because again, City had the 2-goal lead. They were now playing at home. They should have won this match. So I guess what is it that you took from this game? Positive or negative?
Haaland got a rest, which he needed. Also, maybe we need to start talking about how Haaland hasn't scored in a few matches.
Few matches. It's
And
been since like December. Well, he scored in the Brighton, but that was a penalty. But he hasn't had an open play goal since the middle of December.
so maybe we need to start talking about that. And maybe that's why he got the rest. Um, and clearly he needs it. Young Otto Parts is just he's phenomenal. I love the way he plays. Um, and I found it so interesting that like 2 months ago we were hearing all these players, or all these fans saying, "Well, where is Husanov? Where is Husanov? Why is Husanov not playing?" And now like you're not going to see a match with him not starting. Like that seems very apparent.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. Tarik, I guess did you take any major or minor things from the match today?
You know, I don't want to be critical because we got what we needed. We won the match. We won the tie. Doesn't matter, but you know, Holland's got to be better. But I still am not 100% sold on Marmoush yet. I know he got a goal, but it kind of ricocheted off his foot and went in. The second one, he got the header because it kind of was bounced up easy for him. So part of being a striker, being that fox in the box, being in the right place, and taking advantage of opportunities. So I got to give him that. But I still don't see enough consistently to be like, oh, he's the answer. Bench Haaland, put him in. I think you need to do that just so that Haaland has to get sharp and come back better. But again, I don't want to nitpick, and I feel like I am, so I'll leave it alone. But yeah, you know, Nico O'Reilly played well. Continues to play well in the midfield, which he, quite honestly, those first few midfield appearances weren't great. And he's looked very assured in midfield. He's playing alongside both Rodri or Nico G. I personally want to see Nico G and Rodri together, but, you know, Pep has put a lot of trust into Nico O'Reilly. Ait Nori, it's great seeing him bombing down that wing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
He's had some really good runs in this match. Semenyo, nice, clean, smooth. You know what you're going to get from him. I mean, that's how Reinders scored his goal. Was he made that good run? He made that chop dribble, and Burn poked the ball away, but Reinders was able to get that goal. And again, Reinders wasn't. He was great in this match specifically because it was so open. But once the
Yes.
second half started, Howe made the subs where he immediately took off Lewis Hall. He went to a back four. There wasn't that open space because when you have the back five, you have those three players back there. So you're like, all right, there's three defenders and two fullbacks. Somebody's going to be back here. I'm going to trust my defenders, but then the people don't take up those spaces. There's a little more space to run. When you go to the four, people have no choice but to run at these people. You also have more attacking players so they can get forward with a little more conviction as well. You definitely saw Reinders kind of fall off.
I thought that on Reinders' goal, like it was so selfless of Semenyo to like to notice that like Reinders has the better opportunity for the better shot. Like I can get a shot off, but my shot's not going to be as good as what he's going to have on that. And so his recognition on that, and like I think sometimes like that's like stuff you don't necessarily always think about because we've seen instances where Phil runs over Haaland's opportunity or Holland might run over like Doku's opportunity, and like there's just not that communication. So like for Semenyo to be that selfless and like also like to have that level of like spatial awareness and intuition, like, oh, he's gonna have the better shot. Nah, you got it. Like that to me like says a lot about that particular player. I think of all of the goals, the second goal was the Semenyo goal was probably my favorite, like just because I mean Bernardo Silva. Oh no, that was in the. Sorry, I'm mixing up my Semenyo goals. Semenyo's goal in the Spurs match was probably one of my favorite goals of the 5 that were scored in the last 2 matches. Like just Bernardo Silva like on his ass, like getting an assist. Like it was perfect.
That's fair. Yeah. These goals, I mean, Marmoush is even second. Speaking of Semenyo, he was on the left, and like that's really that was the benefit of not having a Holland. Marmoush, Foden, Semenyo being able to just interweave positions and switching spots, and it just made it very difficult for the defense to figure out where to go, who to mark, and how to go at it. And so Semenyo sorry, go for it.
Did anyone else kind of get the sense that like without Holland, it seemed like we were playing more of like a 4-4-2 than like the traditional 4-3-3?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because someone would drop back and help or be the wide person.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but also the positions were fluid. Like they were taking turns who were going to be the 2 up ahead above.
Yes.
Yeah, I loved it. And yeah, and that's what they're able to do. Like the passing in the small spaces, the ball was able to move quickly. A lot of like one-touch passing. Like that's how a lot of the goals were coming, where they would just like lead the players on. And you can't necessarily do that with Foden or with Holland up front. You can't necessarily do that with Donnarumma. Like shout out to Donnarumma. He has been able to show his ability in distribution lately, but like Trafford was able to show his quality. And Trafford had a couple of amazing stops too. I forgot even to give him a shout about that. Like there are a couple of goals Tottenham probably should have scored.
Trafford was amazing in this match. Like I think that like if you think about the last few cup matches that he has played, like he is, or the matches that last few matches he's played, he has like truly made his case. Like I understand that I am not the number one, but like I'm going to make my case to be the number one. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not saying that there's necessarily shots that he stopped that Donnarumma wouldn't, but like the shots that he did stop were very big and impactful. Like he played as though he was the number one goalkeeper in those matches that he has played recently.
Marmoush got 2 goals. And, you know, a lot of times goal scorers get man of the match. But in my opinion, it easily could have been James Trafford. Yeah. Probably should have been James Trafford, in my opinion. He was that good.
Yeah. Concur.
No, Concur. I would actually argue that goal he stopped from Jacob Trafford when he like slid in and snatched the ball away, where that could have easily been a card, a penalty. I will argue Ederson for sure would have probably taken out the player and given a penalty. And I would even say Donnarumma would have probably whiffed on that and it would have been a goal, because that's not necessarily like sweeper keeper type of vibes. That's not Donnarumma's game. He's a shot stopper. So I do think that was a type of goal or a type of situation that Trafford himself could only do. So yeah, definitely want to give Trafford some love, because he is being forced to play as the second when his intention of joining City was, yes, to be the second, but also knowing that, hey, next season Ederson's going to be gone. I'll be the number one guy. Then you bring in Donnarumma, who is 26, one of the best keepers in the world. So you obviously are going to have to sit behind him. So, yeah. All right. Anything else before we move on to our Baby Blue Baddies?
Just thank God like they played today. They played well today. It was to your earlier point, it was a low pressure situation. Like based off of their previous performance in
Yeah.
the previous tie, it was a low pressure situation. Like all you had to do is make sure that you didn't lose by 2 goals, and we were able to do that. Like grateful. Let's move on. Let's play Arsenal at Wembley, and let's squabble. Let's get active.
Hey. Oh, and
Yeah.
then go for it. Sorry, Tarik.
No, you're good.
I was just gonna say, before we move on to Big Blue Baddies, Liverpool on the weekend. How are we feeling about that? That's a big match. It's a big match. Liverpool seem to be figured themselves out. Salah returning from AFCON seems to be back to his guy, to his normal self. Verts has been very. He's getting his goals and assists over the last few games. Ekatike has been honestly solid this entire season. So it's at Anfield. We know how much that club, that stadium deals us trouble. We have had strife and disappointment often. So how are we feeling? What do you got as a score prediction? What you got, Thom Bomb?
I don't know because I don't know how to figure this team out. Like you lose to Bournemouth, you draw Burnley, and then you smack Quarabag, you smack Newcastle, um, like all at home. You beat Nasty Man FC on the road. I have no idea. Like I think what I do know is that there will not be a clean sheet on either side. Like that's what I do know. What the score will be, I don't know. I am praying for a win, hoping for a draw. Don't necessarily foresee a loss.
That's real. That's real. Tarik, what you got?
Yeah, there's no real confidence at this point. I would have said that I feel like we should go in and beat them. I feel like we've been playing better than them. They've not been great. But then when you see us capitulate in the second half, when you see us fold like a cheap suit, it's just like I can't depend on or count on these guys doing what they need to do over the entire 90 minutes. Today was a good start. But even there were some iffy moments against Newcastle in that second half that weren't punished. So we got off and didn't have nothing happened. But a better team, a team with more quality in it might have punished us. So it's hard for me to say we're going to go in and beat them like I would have said before, especially with it being at Anfield. So I never predict a loss, but I will probably call this a 2-2 draw because I just don't know that we have enough to. I hope we do. I hope that they continue to prove me wrong. I hope that today was the start of turning it all around and we go and we beat Liverpool, but just can't count on it yet.
That's real. That's real. I am going to go against everything. I mean, technically, again, there's still 14 games, so plenty of time. We still even play Arsenal. So we just need to not lose. But I'm hoping DS is back. I still don't know if you play DS because Huzanov has proven himself as worthy. I really do love the Gahey Huzanov combination, honestly. So
Really?
yeah. Gahey is able to kind of ping the ball around. He gives the athletic ability in set pieces. They both are very athletic, so I like the way that they're able to get up and down the pitch. Naturally, Ruben Diaz is his experience is key. Like, I think that's great. But against a team like Liverpool, who are going to try to move up and down the pitch, I don't know. I like Kuzanov. He's been playing well enough. He also doesn't, like, I like players who don't stick out in the defense. Like, he just does his job. And I feel like Ruben Diaz, for better or worse, usually worse, he can stick out and get caught. So I don't know. I feel like, and also we don't know how healthy Ruben Diaz is. So I'd much rather let Kuzanov keep doing his thing at 100% instead of putting in a Ruben Diaz who might be like 60, 70, especially because he's not that athletic. Those hips don't move like they should. He doesn't get off the ground. And so if he's at 70%, that's not who we need to be. So if you want to bring him in to see out the match, the final 20 minutes, I'm here for it. But yeah.
Can I interest you in, like, do you think that this could possibly be a situation where Pep overthinks this and was like, oh, I've played Kuzanov a whole bunch. I don't think that he's ready for Anfield, so I'm going to sit him and I'm going to play Gahey, and I'm going to play Liverpool killer and hater Mr. Glass, John Stones.
Oh, God. Oh, I'd melt. Oh, my God. Don't stress me out like that. I didn't even think about that.
John Stones won't see a pitch until he gets to the World Cup. I think he has burned any, in my opinion, just my opinion, I think he's burned any goodwill that he had with Pep and all that. He's just constantly hurt, and Pep needs people that are going to be available, and he hasn't been. He had a nice run at the beginning of the season, and now you just cannot get that dude healthy. I don't think there's any world where he plays. I just don't see it now. Just because you said that, I'll be wrong, and he'll do it. But I don't think there's a world where he sees a pitch until he goes to
the World Cup.
To the World Cup, if he gets there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I'm with it. Yeah.
I would scream if he started Stones over Kuzanov. I would scream, and I can't really scream right now, but I would take all of my energy. And I would do it.
Oh, I love it. So yeah, I'm just gonna project a 2-2 draw. I would love a 3-2 win. I would really love a 4-2 win, but I'm sensing a 2-2 draw.
Yeah, that's what I said. 2-2.
Perfect. All right. Baby blue baddies. Oh man. Let's go. So Jeggy, big man Jeggy. Let me get everything cooled up. Here we go. Forgot. There we go. Leading up to the biggest match of the season, a chance to get a 12-point lead over the reigning champions, Chelsea. What was the focus and expectations leading up to the match?
Yeah, what I expect. I think they expect from each other. First of all, being that fortunate to play these kind of games for these players also, being in a situation which we have created of being in top of the league, 9 points ahead. It has to be enjoyment from the players to step out on the field on Sunday. Definitely has to be the first thing. And the other thing is also, we will do everything we can to win the game. We lost against Chelsea just a couple of, not a couple of days, but 1.5 weeks ago. So it has to be, and also we lost against them in the first game of the league, so there also has to be part of revenge feeling that now it's time to get those 3 points.
I love that he used that word.
There are a couple things that not Seb Hines said there that I really, really appreciate. One, like basically, we need to be enjoying our football. Like that's the number one thing. And like number two, he also said like the players have put the team in this position. I do not believe that that is something that the previous manager would have said about any run of form. Like you even think about when City was on top of the league and like had a decent lead and then, obviously like bottled it and fumbled it. That was not the message that was coming from the manager. It wasn't like, oh, like the players have put us in this like successful position.
Mm-hmm. Like
it was, they were taking credit for basically the position in the table that the club was at. I think that that's very impactful. And yes, like him basically saying like, y'all need to go get y'all lick back. Like, like that's huge. Like, yes, absolutely. They needed to go get their lick back. And boy, did
they. And no, I'm with you. And even like just the way that Jeggy all season has talked about this player and his teams, I'm not gonna say I feel vindicated, but I feel vindicated because I was saying all the time that I think the success from the squad is more the players doing their thing than it is of what the manager is doing via tactics. And for him to come in and be like, yeah, I'm giving a little bit of structure, but it's the ladies on the pitch who are doing the thing and killing it. And it's just like, yeah, again, like it, management can make the teams better, but it's still the people on the pitch who have to do the things. And they are the ones who should probably get like 60% of the credit and or blame, and then give 40% to the management. Obviously, if you put the wrong players in, you set the players up for failure, then that changes. But for the most part, best case scenario, you live and die by the players.
Well, it's particularly when you think about a club like City, where like every CFG group like team is expected to play the same basically play the same type of football, right? Mm-hmm. Like that possession based style. Like we're gonna have our foot on the ball for most of the match. We're gonna be on the front foot. Like we're gonna, and when we don't have the ball, we're gonna press the hell out of you to make sure that we do get the ball, right? So like there's only so much that he's going to be able to do that's like outside of the CFG football footprint, and for him to be able to like basically give them the freedom to like express themselves through their play, and like, okay, you see this space, take this space. Like you see that player like making that run, go track that player. Like, yeah, we'll make sure that somebody else rotates to that player, but like if you see it, like go take care of it. Mm-hmm. I think it's really like been so impactful on the squad as a whole. It's amazing to think that like this is the same core team that finished in 4th last season.
Yep. And Jeggy, he plays down the history between the clubs because many of the players were not part of Chelsea's last moments comebacks at the end of the season. And to worry about all that stuff only takes away from what the players are doing now. He acknowledges that, yeah, it's a match. The match is a must win for Chelsea, but City want to win this game. So, like, there's both sides of it. Like you said, actually, Tom, though, I'm about to play a moment where he talks about his coaching style, and he says what you are a big fan of what he does. But Jeggy was asked about what separates City from other players in the league, and what he goes is I obviously am paying more attention to my team, so I don't know what the other teams are doing. But for us, what I think is great is, yes, the wins against like Arsenal, United, that bolsters the squad and brings their confidence, but really it's being able to perform well against West Ham, the Aston Villas, the London City Lioness. Those are teams that we're expected to win against. Treating those games as seriously as the matches against the top sides. And then even Bunny and Shaw and Kirsten Kasparai in interviews, they mentioned how previous regimes, they were told specifically to do this, but Jeggy wants them to express themselves, to give them the freedom to make their decisions within the game plan. Jeggy was asked about that.
My biggest job to give the framework for the players. This is our starting positions, this is our principles, but I'm not making the decisions for the players. That's the players are doing that. I'm not on the sideline and telling them to play right or play left or run there or shoot or whatever, because that's not how you're winning games, according to me. I think I need to make sure that I'm creating a safe environment where the players feel the freedom of expressing themselves inside of the framework. We have so many great and skillful players that if I put too many rules for them, they will not be able to play on their best level.
Night and fucking day. Night and fucking, like, just, because think about, like, all of the times where, like, okay, obviously after the 20th minute, because, you know, Gareth had to be at the top of the stadium to watch the first 20 minutes of the match and then come down. Think about all of the times, like, you heard him in a, like, I don't know, at the Chigwell or at Broadfield Construction Stadium saying, like, Chloe, left, further out, like, or just, like, barking instructions to players versus, like, like, what he just said. Like, I just want to make sure that they, like, I want to put them in a position to succeed, but, like, I want them to express who they are. Like, these are talented players. Like, I want them to trust their talent. And, I mean, based off of the results, you can't really argue that that's been wrong.
At all. Yeah, man. It's been absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So the starting 11 against Chelsea was Yamashita, Kasparai, Rose, Kanak, Greenwood, Hasegawa, Blinkilde, Miedema, Carolyn, Hemp, and Shaw. Usual. But what was exciting, Ayoba Fajino was on the bench. Mary Fowler was on the bench.
Was on the bench.
Let's go. We got a team back.
Oh my gosh. I didn't join the watch along because I was a little bit hungover. But that's neither here nor there. I was butt ass naked at home, and when I
that wasn't here nor there either.
Yes, when I saw Mary Fowler, like, coming onto the pitch, like, the dogs looked at me like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Like, ran around screaming, butt ass naked, all through the apartment, just like, ah, Mary Fowler! It's a good thing only got a neighbor on one side. and it wasn't a 6 a.m. match.
Right? Bro, a couple extra hours makes a big difference.
Woo! Big difference. Seeing what was on the bench was almost more exciting than seeing what was starting.
Yeah.
And what was starting was, whoo, like, just, yes. It was the dream lineup in so many ways. Like, Having Carolyn, Bunny, and Hempo up top, and we've seen the evolution of Viv Miedema, like going from like striker to like influential midfielder. Like it's not the goals and assists that like are so impressive. It's like the midfielding that she's doing, like the getting stuck in, the like the counter pressing of the sixes. Like she had Kira Walsh in hell, like for the entire time that she was on the pitch, like, which for multiple levels was great to see. Like, just I don't know how to explain that other than yes, it was great to see on multiple levels. I think you see the first goal and like off of a set piece, Caroline with just a thunder bastard of a shot, like through traffic. We'll get to Millie Bright's comments in a minute, but right. There might be an expectation that if you are one of the top goalkeepers in the world, that's a shot that you would stop. And there was so much traffic in front of her. Like, I don't know if she was like truly able to see it until it was like on her, basically. And then it was too late. So that was like in the 16th minute. That goal was huge and massive. Like you saw, like Carolyn do one of these, and she ran to the supporters. Like it means something to her. It's like yes. And then we got okay. We can talk about the pass that Viv put in, like on a dime. We can talk about the swim move. Like, there are defensive line coaches that like are watching that tape and are like, okay, when you do a swim move on an offensive tackle, my defensive ends, I need you to do this. Like the way that she was able to cross over Gurma, like was like
dropped her.
And again, Naomi Gurma is the best defender in the world. Like I you will not. That is not American bias showing. Like there is not a better center back defender in the world currently. Point blank. Period. And Bunny Shaw just like dropped her. But the biggest thing about that goal is that Yui made that goal because she basically punked Kira Walsh in the midfield and she had nowhere to go. And then she just like turned it over to Viv, and then Viv's like vision was just like, oh yeah, like Bunny, I'm playing you in. That goal was c'est magnifique, right? Mm-hmm. So then like you come out and Chelsea comes out in the second half, and you see their okay, like in the first 3 minutes, like okay, we're gonna be intent, we need to like unleash our attacking talent, and off of a set piece, like I think we were like in the early days of this show, like there were times where we were scared for Manchester City men to get a corner because we know that meant the other team was going to score a goal because like the breakaway was on. And that was exactly what, like, once Hempo got the ball and released Carolyn, like there was not a timeline in which Kira Walsh was ever going to catch her, ever. And then
just
like
for
her to
away.
And then for her to like make that move across her, like, oh, she just like totally eliminated her. Like, so because she took away her angle. And so like, even if she did get close to catching up, she's going to have to foul her in the box, and that's like a red card or at least a yellow card and a pin. Mm-hmm. So, and then the shot over Hampton, maybe you might want your goalkeeper to do better in that situation. I don't know. But
and
like
she's on the ground and she's just like,
yeah, just like, Yeah, like just like I was like, oh yeah, I love
it.
this.
Have
Like
it.
the fourth goal, like again, Viv has gotten so good at doing the midfielding stuff, like just like I'm gonna press this. I'm gonna press. I'm gonna make sure that I'm available for my teammate. I'm gonna pick my head up, and I'm gonna see Lauren Hemp running down the left wing. And so, okay, like cool, like go get her. And there was never like based off of like how hot Carolyn was in that game, based off of like how informed she was in general. Like Lauren Hemp never thought to shoot. Like it was like, oh yeah, I'm crossing it to you, and the cross wasn't really that great. The shot was pretty decent. The goalkeeping was not like that was the one where I was like, ooh, Hannah, that ain't great. That ain't great. That ain't great. I so much of the theme of this match to me was like better offensive play, or and it's very apparent in Woso. Like, there are so many better and more potent offensive, like attacking players than there are defending players. You even saw that on Chelsea's goal because Alyssa Thompson put Sam Coffey in the absolute blender.
Yes,
like, and no, you don't like to see that necessarily. And I think that like this is something that we're going to see like more and more of. And I'm so excited to record the 12 and like get kind of Mark's opinion on this, especially like knowing how negatively Sonia likes to play. Like better attacking tactics and attacking talent are going to win out over over good defending and good defensive tactics like every time. And I think that we saw this throughout the match. And then like the fifth goal, just a cherry on top, a set piece goal. Like, I mean, pinpoint delivery by Kasparai Kermit, just like Dutch woman to Dutch woman, like right onto Viv Miedena's head, flicks it on back of the net, like 5-1, and like it's a party at the Etihad. Like I said that there was no world in which Sonia would want to let there be more than 3 goals scored in this match, and more than 3 goals were scored in the match, like within 65 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, so she already, like, even if 2 of them would have been for her squad, like she would have already lost. Like, so, I'm so interested to hear Mark's perspective on this match because when we record the 12 again, the WSL podcast, which you should be listening to, I'm so interested to hear his perspective on what it means to. Oh, he's 100% going to crash out, but like, as like, it's evident that like good offensive, like good attacking talent and good attacking tactics are going to win out over good defenders and good defensive tactics. And like, I mean, maybe this because this was like one of the first times that Sonia, like, and we talked to Silves about it on the Breaking Bread episode, like, because Lucy Bronze was hurt, they had to play a back 4. Okay, so that means that you're actually playing Sandy Baltimore as a fullback against Caroline.
She didn't enjoy
Good
herself.
luck.
She did not enjoy
Good luck.
herself.
No, she did not. She was not having a good time. It was straight up not having a good time. Like, and okay, so we got to talk about Millie Bright real quick, right? They asked that lady after the match, what was the difference in this match? What happened? And she said, with a straight face, well, Manchester City's goalkeeper made more stops than our goalkeeper. And I'm trying to think, like, this is not the first time this season that either a club teammate or a country teammate has just thrown Hannah Hampton under the bus. And I'm not trying to victim blame, because
that's fair.
That's
fair.
That's not cool. And like, what is it about Hannah that makes all of these players want to say this stuff about her? I'm not saying it's something that she's doing, like, to bring this treatment on, because I don't believe that. But like, I also know that there's a whole bunch of shit that I don't see and I don't know.
So Hannah, actually, there's a video of it. She was the first Chelsea player to leave the pitch. Like, the moment the game was on, she like went down the tunnel. Like, she immediately left. So, and you could even see it in the game, especially at the end. She did the whole thing when the goalie like yells and throws the arm at the players. Like, she was demonstrative. She was not happy to give up these amount of goals. The last time City women gave up 5 goals, that was a loss that they had against Arsenal. I have the photos still in my phone. It was a 5-0 loss to Arsenal, October 14th, 2018. 2018 was the last time Chelsea allowed 5 goals on them.
Yikes, that's 8 years ago. Ooh.
So,
I mean,
I get why Hannah Hampton was like that. Like, as a goalkeeper, you never want to allow 5 goals. Also,
no.
Maybe giving Bright a little bit of bail. It is a state of fact that Yamashita stopped more goals than her, but also we know where Bright's support loyalty lies when it comes to English goalkeepers. So like, I get it.
And like, Hempo nutmegged Bright for that assist on Carolyn's hat-trick goal. Like, just made it look ridiculously dumb.
Like, all she had to say is just, all together as a team, we did not play well. But yeah, for her to make it about the goalkeeper is wild.
That's your club captain saying this? Like, I mean, whoo. Okay, so let's focus back on City, right? Like, I am loath to say this. I think that we have a better than 50% chance to win the league at this point.
It's so dramatic. I didn't know where you were going. Better than 50% chance. It's actually, so along those lines, it's very funny seeing so many people on social media. And then I even believe some people in the group chat, they're like, you City fans gaslit all of us thinking we stood a chance in this match, and you kicked our asses. And even still, like, we're all just like, hey, there's still a lot of match to go. We need to see how it is.
We still have to play the derby at Old Trash Can.
Like,
we're about to go to the Emirates. We're about to go to the Emirates this weekend.
There's a lot to do.
Like, there's still a lot to do.
Anything is possible.
Yes. So, yes, I do think that there is a better than 50% chance. That being stated, in order to make sure that that is the case, like, those are 2 matches we have to get a result in. I'm not saying we have to win.
Yes.
You just have to get a result.
Correct. Don't lose.
Like, shout out to Deep D and Treb, who joined us for Breaking Bread last night. And we talked about, like, them playing in the whatever bullshit ass FIFA shit that they won.
They won it, though. Don't take that away from them.
Yeah, but they played at their own stadium. Like, what? I mean, because I guarantee you, if they played at Corinthians Stadium, like, I don't know if the result is the same.
That's fair.
So there's that. Okay, so they still have a match in hand. And
Leicester
they're
City.
like against Leicester City. So they're at let's see, where are they in the table? Behind
Fourth. They're outside of
they're
UWCL.
fourth.
Yep.
Yeah, they're 13 points behind us, right? Or no? Is that right? Am I doing math right? Yes, they're 13 points behind us. No, how is that? Oh, that's right, because Manchester United is now 11
10.
points behind us.
Oh, 11. Yeah.
Okay. So they're 13 points behind us. But if they the expectation is, you play Leicester, you're supposed to win. But they do have a lot of matches that they have to play. We talked about their fixture congestion, just in the month of February alone, and one, February is a short month, and two, there's an international break coming at the end of February, so it's not just the number of matches that they're playing in a very short month is very jarring. I am interested to see what Renee deploys. We talked about them playing Mariana Caldente a lot. She really is their talisman. She's the straw that stirs the drink for them. So I don't know what she's played a lot of minutes recently, and I don't know if she can keep going at that pace. And especially if you, I can only imagine that playing against players like Yui and Laura Blinkilde Brown is just so annoying because they're just little gnats that you just want to swat away, but you can't just swat them away because they're also technically gifted. It will be interesting to see this match on Sunday at the Emirates. I am predicting a 1-1 draw, which is a great result for City. It's a fantastic result for City because it gets you a point. Even if United gets all 3 points this weekend, they're still 8 points behind us, and they're the next quote unquote of the top 4. They would be the next team that we would play. So I feel 1-1 draw is probably the way to go in this situation.
And so actually, I have Caro and Bunny after the win against Chelsea that I wanted to play, and I'm not going to lie, I posted about it on social media. The first time I watched this video, just hearing their joy and the pride in themselves, them talking their shit, I legit got emotional. I got misty-eyed because just the team, we talked about it, what they had to deal with the previous manager. It was just so much nonsense and disappointment and structure and disappointment and not acknowledging the players for who they are as human beings. To be in this position where they are, where basically the league is in one hand, it's just brilliant. So yeah, here it is.
City are doing really well right now. We knew it. This team is very special, and I think what we are doing inside is showing outside. It is expressing ourselves. So I'm really happy, really proud of the team, and also we are doing history. So I just want to keep doing that, and then we have a goal.
Our group, we always believe in ourselves, and we know the quality that we have within the squad. So yeah, we knew that the last time we played them, we weren't clinical enough, so we made sure tonight we were. You know what, we spoke about it as a group, and we said the last 2 times we played them, we had chances to put the game away, but we just couldn't find the back of the net. So the whole week we were preparing for this game, trying to be in front of goal as much as possible, being clinical, put their defense line under a lot of pressure, and hello, she delivered.
Hello. I mean, it's really, I'm really proud of the group again, because I think what we're doing right now is not just about myself, it's about the collective. We know, we trust, we know our quality, so we just believe in the game plan, and then we are playing with the heart. This is the most important thing. So we're gonna just enjoy tonight.
Enjoy tonight.
Enjoy tonight. That's right.
And that's when I was just like, oh my God, I love this team. Oh,
it's such a departure from last season, especially like, I mean, we've seen this team like, if since it's been since the beginning of the show that they've lifted a trophy of any description. Like we've seen this team like reach highs that we've never seen before, like actually make it to the knockout stages of the Champions League, qualify. We've seen some really bad lows. Basically, a player saying like, your best player saying like, nah, I'm like, not only do I want you to fire this motherfucker, like I'm not gonna play for the rest of the season, like because he did me so dirty, and like yeah, and like it was gonna be her every time, like, and like the club absolutely made the right decision on that. Like, I mean, all you got to do is look at what Liverpool doing now, and like know that like, oh yep, absolutely, that was the right decision.
Oh,
yep. Correct.
Yeah, so I'm actually gonna be bold, and I'm just gonna say I think we actually beat them down 3-1. Our baby blue baddies established those ladies, and it's their title. We ain't going out passive. So yes,
love that. I love that.
So yeah, this was the episode. Hey, it's been a while since we hit the 2 hours. Actually, I lied.
You know what?
The last time Sharpie and I think even last week it was like an hour and like 50 minutes. So it was a while. So I was like, it's been so long. It's been a week. So yeah, but this has been great. Lots of joy. Some conversations that needed to be had, and the baby blue baddies deserved all of the time and all the joy, especially after that win.
Yes. They absolutely earned it. They absolutely earned like us talking. I mean, if you love this club, you're going to talk about them anyway, right? But like based off of performance, like they absolutely deserved all of these minutes that we talked about them.
Yes, for sure. Well, we will be back. We have lit stream. The 12 will be recording after the lit stream. We have
before the lit stream.
We have match previews for Liverpool with Kyle Carr. We have for the City men. Yes. Then we have City women with Treb and Deepty. Plenty of other episodes coming up ahead of you. Check out our Patreon. Until next time, you know the vibes. Shady gang, shady gang, shady gang. Okay, naturally. So I don't know what I did, but for some reason, like none of these buttons are working. So I'm gonna have to just hit refresh real quick so that I can cancel it because I have Devin.
We're some podcasts. Or do I drop out? I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna make the cut, but if you're listening, you can find me